very popular item that a lot of Jeepers like to add to their, especially the new JKs, are flat fenders. GenRight makes one of the nicest looking and best constructed flat fenders in the business, and that's what we chose to use for our Gecko Project JK. And while they completely alter the appearance of a JK, they do add strength, but most importantly, they improve articulation and tire clearance on black diamond trails, something that's very important. For our installation, we selected All J Products in Big Bear Lake, California, where Quinn and Heather Thomas, the owners, have built hundreds of Jeeps and also manufacture some excellent products. They have a lot of experience with GenRight's flat fender installation, and because it's slightly more complex than a lot of other items that can be installed on your Jeep, we decided to have professionals tackle the job. The first step was to remove the stock fenders, and the second step, as you just saw, was to drill out some of the holes that hold the stock fenders in place. The stock fenders are actually held in place with plastic snap-in clips and threaded studs. So what you have to do to install the GenRight fenders is drill out the stock mounting holes, and then as Quinn has shown here, you insert nutserts. Quinn has a cool special tool to do that, but the GenRight kit includes a tool. It's a little more time consuming, but it works just fine. And then a trial fit is done to place the fender before final installation. While the GenRight fenders are manufactured to very close tolerances, the same cannot be said of a production line vehicle. The tolerances, especially when they're using plastic fasteners, vary by as much as a 1/4 inch. So one of the things you have to do is make sure that the holes in the fender line up with the nutserts that have been inserted into the fender sheet metal. In the case of our installation, Quinn and his first-class helper in the shop, Larry, had to do a little grinding and extra drilling to make sure that all of the bolts, which are nice stainless steel cap head bolts, line up with the nutserts in the fender sheet metal on the Jeep itself. For the front fenders, as you can see here, Quinn is installing a piece of aluminum sheet metal which acts as a deflector and a nice trim piece. While mounting the fenders is straightforward and pretty much a mechanical activity, the most difficult part is actually trimming the stock inner fender wells to look right and fit properly when the new fenders have been installed. Here Larry is trimming one of the inner fender liners so that it properly fits back into the JK fender under the new GenRight flat fenders. Quinn is using his custom tool for inserting the nutserts, which probably cuts the time needed to do the nutserts by a 1/4. Then the fender is being installed and bolted into place. Once everything is lined up and checked, then Larry goes to work on the inner fender well, fitting that and reshaping it, cutting it. It's actually more art than mechanics to get the fender to fit properly. Larry has done this on several Jeeps, and not surprisingly, each Jeep is a little bit different because of difference in manufacturing tolerances and wear and tear on the vehicle before the fenders are installed and the inner liners are customized to fit properly. One of the nice things about having a shop like All J do the installation is they have the right tools and the experience to do a really first-class job, which Quinn and Larry did on our Gecko JK project vehicle. Fitting the inner fender liners was a little bit different on each corner, and the job in total took about 4 hours, which is pretty typical of an install of the GenRight flat fenders on a JK. But if you're doing an install like this at home, you have to be real careful because of the alignment problems. It's good to have air tools and grinders. Reasons to swap the stock fenders with a flat fender like those from GenRight is to improve tire clearance, especially on black diamond trails like our trail here in Gold Mountain. You can see how much the tires are getting up into the fender wells, and they're actually rubbing quite a bit. But after we installed the GenRight fenders on our Gecko Project JK, tire clearance was excellent with no rubbing, especially vertically against the top of the fender wells. And keep in mind that our Project JK Gecko is using stock suspension right now. We have not installed the lift yet, so it's even more impressive. And we're extremely happy with both the look and performance of the GenRight flat fenders installed at all J products.